Hi, so my name is Liesl Holmes. I am the Safari Manager at Kapama Game Reserve. I am in charge of all the guides on the reserve, as well as the development program that we run on the reserve. I've had the privilege of working for Kapama for the last 19 years. Kapama decided to make this initiative because Kapama as a whole believe in the development of guides. So we believe that it is important to educate people, especially in the local communities, so that they can give that information across to their people as well. And in that sense, the whole community benefits, as well as the tourism industry as a whole will benefit from the education that is provided to people, and thus empowering people. Kapama believes that we need high standards within the industry. Therefore, we use the leading organization within the industry, which is FGASA. FGASA has high standards when it comes to their assessors, and that is why we only specifically use FGASA's assessors when it comes to our guiding development for our guides. This program is a vigorous recruiting program that we then identify certain individuals that we would like to enhance and pretty much upskill them. With the program itself, the people need to have certain minimum requirements that we need, and then every individual we take and then we make a unique program for each person, because every individual is different, and therefore every individual needs a unique program. And we then look at each one and then we set certain criteria for that specific person. A good guide is a confident guide, a guide that is a good communicator, a guide that is self-confident, and especially someone that is self-motivated. So yes, there's definitely a minimum requirement that we need from our side, especially having a matric certificate, also to have a good communication, so your pronunciation of the English language, and excitement, that the person needs to show us that they want to do it. The person needs to show us that they are willing to go above and beyond to try and get this job, and that they would want to better themselves. And that is actually the most important thing. The rest I can teach them. The rest I can teach you to be a good guide on a vehicle. I can teach you what to say, what not to say, but I cannot teach you that self-motivation. I cannot teach you to have that passion inside you. You need to always have that. Well, this program has definitely been a trendsetter for Kapama. It's the first time in South Africa that we've actually managed to have 2 guides on a safari vehicle and not just one. So at all 4 of our lodges, we actually have 2 guides that are qualified on your safari vehicle. Definitely enhances the safari experience. You can ask any of your 2 guides anything that you would like. Anything that your heart desires, you can actually ask both of them. They will give you the information, and you can also ask them from a traditional point of view what is important to them, what is not important to them. So from the local community side as well, the traditional beliefs also come in, and that is quite strong, that comes through. So that's quite a simple answer for me. I would like to see them to go from strength to strength. I want them to grow, I want them to develop, I want them to really go out there and do the best that they can be. I want them to go from an NQF2 to an NQF4 to a professional guide, to have the full trails guides, and just to have that absolute enthusiasm and passion that I have mentioned before, that they can just show that to people and actually educate people within South Africa and across the world of the importance of conservation. So the benefits recruiting from the local communities, obviously the guides already have some of the education when it comes to the local cuisines, the local environments, the trees, birds, things like that, that they have already grown up within their area, as well as you educating them. So that is one of the things. But I want to emphasize, and I want people to understand, that When it comes to teaching these people and developing them into these positions, it's much easier to go and get a guy that has a degree or university, or someone that you've taken from a training providing school out there that has come and has all these attributes already for you. It's a lot easier doing that. It's not easy to take a guy that does not know a lot about hospitality skills, about driving vehicles, things like that, to then all of a sudden teach them from scratch and then to build them up. So definitely using the people from the local community when it comes to the traditional beliefs and the ancestral beliefs that they have. It is much easier for a person that comes from overseas to believe your local guide, your African guide, than a guy that comes from Cape Town that has had no experience with it, that actually just goes and reads it out of a book and wants to then come and tell you that this is the traditional belief and things like that. These guys have witnessed it hands-on. They have experienced it in their lives. The Sangomas, things like that, it's part of their culture, it's part of what they do. And to explain that from their heritage going forward to other people and with different nationalities, it is interesting for them to understand these different cultures and to start asking these questions that the people only them know, you know, because they've experienced it. It's a different thing to read something in a book than someone that actually has had first-hand knowledge and experience of it. We have had such an awesome response from our local communities because we have an ethical way of doing things, and the way that we are promoting our guiding system and the way that we are trying to educate these people, the word of mouth has gone out there. People have been telling everyone, try and see if you can get into the program, the development program that Kapama has to offer. It's a fantastic program. They're giving you the opportunity to grow yourself, to be something, and to actually make a career path out of what you're doing. There are definitely some challenges that we do face with, especially when it comes to the grasp of the English language. It's not their first language, so there's some pronunciation issues that might have difficulty for them. Also, to the understanding of some of the words that are used as well when we are busy educating and when you have to teach people in the different sections. So it does make it a little bit more challenging. But the most challenging part of all of it is, you can imagine, this is the first time that most of them have ever driven a safari vehicle. So to get them in the vehicle for the first time and then to put them behind the steering wheel, it's a little bit intimidating for them. So what happens is we need to then take them, give them a little bit of a background, and then we teach them the 4x4 skills that they also need to know when they are taking guests out. When we look at the training and who helps us in the training, it's all Fugasa assessors. We use guys within the industry, and I don't use just one or two assessors. We believe in using different assessors for different skills. You've got your guys that are great in the tracks and signs. You've got people that are great with walking safaris, hospitality side of things. So I actually use guides and assessors actually from all the way from the Eastern Cape that actually come to me and come and assess some of my guides as well. So in the one hand, I'm using an assessor that is busy training as well, and then I'm using another assessor to come and do the actual assessment. So it's not just from a one-sided point of view. I started the program, the development program, in 2018, and on average, a year I do about 80 guides that I do in different categories. Pushing a guide from an NQF2 to an NQF4, pushing a guide to get their ARH qualifications, to push a guide to get professional trails. So there's so many different categories. So within that time period, you're looking on an average of plus minus 80 guides per year that we progress from one level to the next level. Within the development program, with taking guides from the local communities, I could say on average that we do about 40 plus a year. In the past, we've experienced that guides stay in the industry for 2 to 3 to 4 years, then moving on back to Johannesburg or Cape Town or wherever they're coming from. Using our local guides, they have seen the opportunity that we have given them, and they have seen a growth opportunity as well. In that way, they can look after their extended families. So it's made our life a little bit easier as well, because their longevity increased over the last couple of years. And in that sense, it actually helps us because the guides stay in the industry for quite a long time then, yeah. So definitely from the training, if you take a guide and you give them that NQF2 level, they want to better themselves even more. Sometimes they will come to me and they'll say, please Liesl, just can I do this a little bit sooner than what you actually want me to do it? In the career path that they are following, they want to better themselves, and in that sense it does make a big difference for them as well, because they've got that opportunity then. And last but not least, I'm extremely proud of all my guides.